All right, everyone, we are live again. Wednesday night, hump day, hump night, pause, hump day. We are live. Everybody, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe. Dynasty Mir, search for Uhuru. So happy to be in your guys' presence. It means a lot. Thank you. Oh, hold on. Where's the plaque at? I'll grab the plaque here in a second. But, for all those who are here from the beginning, I appreciate it. When I was in Dogon country to now, we hit 100K subscribers. So it really means a lot. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you so much for the support. It really means a lot. Make sure you go to dynastymir.com. Make sure you go to searchforhoover.com. Also, the site for the tour company is almost done. It will be done Saturday. I had to fire my previous web developer. I got a new one. And he's already done more today than my web developer did, previous web developer did in 2 weeks. So, guys, we're almost there. We are almost there. Without further ado, we got brother Kala Thanos on with us today. Regular every Wednesday. You guys know Uncle Kala. Everybody knows Uncle Kala. Everyone, I think everybody knows Uncle Kala. You guys know Uncle Kala. If you guys don't know Uncle Kala, go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Akala Genesis, chief host of the Voice of the Kala Nation radio show, one of the co-founders of the Black African Infrastructure Organization social network and Global Pipeline social network. Download it on the App Store or your App Store or your Play Store and everything like that. Social network that links everybody in the Pan-African world who believes in ultimately Black infrastructure. That means building where we are. And no matter where we are, whether it's the United States, whether it's Canada, whether it's the African continent, if we're Black people globally, we're working together. We need infrastructure. Infrastructure means structure. That's what it means. Right now, we are people, 2 billion, how many people on this earth with no infrastructure linking us together? We're all part of the Eurozone. We're part of the French zone. We're part of the English zone. We're part of America. There is no global Black African infrastructure. That's 500 years of destruction. So no matter what you have right now, no matter how much wealth you think you have, and how much like that, it all can be erased and taken away overnight because we have no base of operation. The base of operation has to be the African continent and building the African continent. There's no other way that we're going to survive. We see integration in America has failed. We're never going to be assimilated into America and everything because of racism and all the Jim Crow and all these other things. So that's why.
Kyle, let me ask you a quick question. You brought up integration. What was the purpose of marching down to white Auntie Sue's kitchen just to sit in it and get our asses beat when we had our own diners?
Well, the whole thing is in American culture, right? White man's world or white man's ice is always colder. We and like I said, let me say this: it's status. If you can go down when you tell somebody you went to some place, right? It's like having the new outfit on, right? You have something somebody else. If you can go down to where the white people eat at, right? That's a little more status you think you deserve than sitting in Aunt Sue's kitchen around the corner with people. You want to basically be around. I'm past that. I'm better than that. I'm moved up and everything. But since the dominant society wasn't going to let you do that, right, because of your color, then we say, okay, let's get rid of the laws and the customs that do that, right? It wasn't all about. See, we're in a bad situation in Black America, right? Because the solution for Black America has always been the Black family, Black unity, and everything. But now, because America told us that we're going to integrate, right? It's a two-edged sword. If you say integrate into America, right, that means that you have to dismantle what you have, and that's why the Black HBCUs are in trouble. That's why Black churches, institutions, and everything have disappeared. That's why Ebony Magazine's gone. That's why Jet Magazine's gone. Why? That's why they're taking down the legacy of Bill Cosby, right? Because that stands in the way of this idea of pluralism and non-racialism and color blindness. See, there's only that when it comes down to people of color having power. If you have power, say like back in the days when I was coming up, right? you know, and I'm not that old, right? I'm in my early 50s. If when I was coming up in this thing, we like, okay, we go into the white skating rink, but we always had something to fall back on, which we had functioning communities back in the 70s and 80s. We had functioning communities that you had a good time with. We had places that are recluse that we can go to where we have role models and stuff like that, you know? So we didn't spend a lot of time around white people and everything telling us. Now it's different. Now we don't have, since we don't have those communities anymore, right? The infrastructure anymore. And the communities, as we see now, are just destroyed, right? And nobody wants to be part of it. Every day you hear a horror story. Somebody getting carjacked, somebody getting killed, you know, black, white, whatever, like that. And we see the all the very worst of our community now dominates the traditional black community, and everybody right now. So suburbia is a refugee camp for Black America. You know, there's a refugee camp. I want my kids to go to that white school, that good school over here.
That's for sure. I got to write that down. Suburbia is a refugee camp for Black America. I got to write that down.
So suburbia is a refugee camp. We're all refugees, you know, because the community, no matter what you try to do to it, right? And we're going to get into why that is, okay? Why that is. You can't just go back to the hood and rebuild, right? The people that you mocked for years, right, aren't there. The people that held the community together, right? Those people that worked those jobs, those aunts and uncles that went to church and did their thing and everything, that were law-abiding and everything, that kept the community grounded and everything, those people are long gone, right?
Right.
So therefore, there's nothing to really go back to. You know, right now the community is run by gangs, thugs, and just anybody, anything and everything that goes on. And so you don't have anything, no place to go. And then some people say, you know something, I'll live in the suburbs, right? But you know, then they neglect the whole community and focus on Africa. You know, I'm seeing now that most of the people that go into the continent, right, are coming from suburbia, Black suburbia. You know, they're porting over. They're saying they're looking for a nice place like Botswana, South Africa, and everything, because it's either continuing going into a increasingly anti-Black suburbs and everything, or go back to the so-called inner city where you have less services, crime, everything. Or you can take Tanzania up on the offer that they have with a nice community. Or you can go to South Africa. This is where it comes from, right? There's a lot of African Americans who lived in Europe, who went to Dubai and everything. So in other words, basically what I'm saying is the Black America, the inner city culture that we once had is gone. It's never going to come back. Gary, Indiana is officially a failed city. You know, officially gone. Officially says Detroit is dying. You know, if you ever take a look at hood vlogs, right? There's a white guy who makes hood vlogs, and they get 500.
Listen, the white guy goes around all the hoods in America.
Right. And they're proud of the destruction and death. Yeah, somebody got shot last night and whatnot, you know? So, and my hood is the roughest, man. Don't come over here.
Say it again, Colin. Say it again.
Yo, don't come in. My hood's the roughest, man. Somebody got shot.
Yeah, man, it was a drive-by last night, man. Yeah, the body right there, man. I grew up. I come outside. Hey, Colin, I come outside. There'll be bodies all over the floor when I come outside.
Over bodies and whatnot, you know? So this is what we've come to, right? And no amount of Black militancy or anything like that is going to save this, right? That's what it is. We've allowed that to happen. Why? Because we didn't want to fight. Like I said, just the same way we didn't want to avenge Malcolm X, right? And save his legacy and life and whatnot. We sat there and let these punks, these devils, these Black devils that killed Malcolm X get away with it, right? We let these other Black devils working white devils destroy our communities, destroy our girls, destroy our people with drugs and crime and everything like that. We never took revenge. We never said, you know something, we never draw a line in the stand. We never make a stand. You know what stand means? When we say African, that means where we stand. Right now, you don't have anything to stand on. We have nothing to stand. We have no front. We have no stand, anything. Because anybody could just roll over anything that you build inside of America. Black Wall Street was rolled over, you know, the Tulsa, then we had Black Wall Street districts all over. We had one in Durham, North Carolina. We had them in Williamson, North Carolina. We had them in Georgia. Forsyth County, Georgia was once a Black stand, African stand, we could say it like that. You know, so we had these Black communities and everything. Memphis, Tennessee, the white people drove all the Black people out of Memphis, Tennessee, right? and took over their businesses and everything. So everything was destroyed that we have in Black America. And then now we have our own people that look like us finishing the job. So we basically, the Black man in America is actually tired. We're really tired, And so when we basically say, something, we're going to make a move to Africa and everything. Now we still got Negroes trying to mess up that. So you don't want us to go to Africa and build anything. You don't want us to have anything in America, right? So what is it? We're supposed to be on a floating raft in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. If we all got on a floating raft in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, you Negroes would pray for a storm to try to sink us or disrupt us. So the bottom line is that either we're going to keep running like cowards. You're dying. You're muted. You're muted. Dying. You're muted.
Yeah, my bad, Colin. I was going to say, so you'll have a group when the tsunami cyclone hit us. And then the group and then you'll have some of the people in the group that's on the raft saying, "We's the original fish.
We're the original
mermaids. We from here."
Yeah, man. I've been kicking one of those mermaid chicks, man. We're the original mermaids and whatnot, So the bottom line is this: if we play, like, remember that movie Waterworld? We created a thing. Somebody will say that we had no right to be on the Waterworld by ourselves. And everything. So the bottom line is the world. It seems like the world. This is what happens when. Let me say this right. And I'm gonna connect Black America to some historic stuff. We are like the gypsies, right? The gypsies get no love any place in the world. They're always gonna be outcasts. Same thing with the Kurds. Same thing with anybody that's ever been uprooted from their land. Anybody's been uprooted from their land and everything. We're always gonna be pilgrims. We're always gonna be outsiders, no matter what. That's gonna last for the next 2,000 years. So we have to get used to it. So, but we still should be able to build some sort of peace for ourselves and everything. So long as we're the minority as slave descendants, any place, we're always going to be on the outside and persecuted. We're always going to be like that. And America, right? I really believe this is like the worst place, right? The people that enslaved us, the people that basically told the world that we're animals, the people that told the world that we're nothing and everything, the people that bled our ancestors till they worked them to their death and made their wealth and everything and said it was all right. These people are in charge of our fate. I've never seen anything like this in my life. The first thing should have been is get away from these people right here in America, because not only are they dangerous to us here in America, but they're also dangerous to us in Africa. The anti-African American sentiment in Nigeria and everything comes from these white Americans. That's where it comes from. That's where it comes from.
You think so, Colin? You think so?
Let me tell you something. I've been researching this for years,
And one second, Colin, guys, hit that like button again. Please hit the like button as you come into the chat room. But I don't know. It's to the point now where I hear more ignorant stuff about Africa coming from our own than
but what I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. The difference with us is this, right? Africa, the Africans are in charge of Africa, right? If we're gonna make a move to Africa, their ignorance, right, holds power. Our ignorance don't really do nothing, because we can't stop Africans from coming here. We have no power. 500 years and whatnot, we have no power over anything. We have no power of our life. We have no power who comes in our community. We have no power who joins our institutions, wherever. So Black America's ignorance is powerless ignorance. So we don't have any power. The same thing that happened. Let me say this. I used to know this Romanian girl, right? And me and her and a bunch of people went out on this thing, the Busch Gardens, years ago. It's back in '99, right? Summer '99, right? And she was basically telling me, I said, she goes, "Oh, I love Black America." I go, "You do, right?" And she goes, "Well, and in Romania, we were always shown a positive image of Black America. And we basically, Romanians, because we're under Soviet, right? We had anti-American propaganda, right? They always show us how America's doing you guys wrong and stuff like that, right?" So she said there was a positive image of Black America under the Soviet. You're muted, Dice. Under the Soviet Union, Soviet Union.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so therefore, any of those countries that was Soviet bloc, right, in Eastern Europe, you'll find that these people are more, for the most part, more pro-Black America, right? Because they've always been trying to reach out to Black America. America is a capitalist country. They demonize America and they're like that. Just like when the Iran hostage situation happened, right? When they stormed the U.S. embassy and took everybody hostage, they let all the Black people go. They said, "You guys can go," right? All the people that basically grew up under Soviet propaganda and everything like that have nothing. At the same time, in Africa, right, you have the Voice of America, right, and the BBC and all these Western propagandists going throughout the continent, right? And they paint a picture of African Americans as, lazy and complaining, violent, and stuff like that. And a few Africans don't know how to discern, right? They say, "Oh, America has so much opportunity," right? But they understand though. Yeah, if you come over here in the hundreds, you're gonna find opportunity. But let you start coming over here in the millions, and then talk to me about America. It's always when you're in small numbers you want to talk like that. So therefore, this propaganda against African Americans, right? African Americans is like, and a lot of it's our fault too, right? We didn't uphold the black family structure, and we didn't do all of us. I'm guilty. Everybody's guilty of this. And we didn't basically build families and everything. I don't know what happened and everything. I saw it happen in the '90s with TV shows like Living Single and Girlfriends and all this stuff like this. There's a propaganda, a war against the black male, and the African American family. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants to see it. Nobody wants to see the black family happy. And the result of this is we got fractured communities. You got people that should be living together, building wealth and saving money, building wealth. They're living in 5 different locations and everything. And so therefore kids don't have a chance to really develop and go. They end up in the streets and everything. And so the bottom line, that's what we're facing right now in Black America. That's where we are right now in Black America. And the whole thing is this: we ask people, like, before you start judging us, right? Learn our history, learn what we're going through, learn what we did, learn our resilience, how we tried to make this America work. We really did. Out of all the groups of people that believed in America, right? I think black people in America believed in America the most. It should have been a white.
Kyla, why is that? Why is that? All the group of people, why? Why is
The
that?
thing is, though, black people, we like symbolism, and we like believing in for a higher cause. Where the white man will send their kids to death in Europe, telling them it's about democracy, and they know it's about recouping the money that they loan France, Britain, and all these other people. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. But they'll sloganize it and then say, "Oh, we're fighting for democracy and everything." Well, Vietnam, what was Vietnam about? Vietnam was the fact that the Wall Street and the Rothschild banks and everybody bankrolled Saigon in Southeast Asia, right? And the bottom line is, if you have the communists come here, you lost everything. And so basically, they have to recoup their money. And I'm thankful that a country like Liberia never got into that debt trap with the Rothschild banks and everything, right? Any country that's in the debt trap of the West, is really, really, I'm telling you right now, because there's no way to get out of it. Once you take their money, once you take the loan, borrow their money and stuff like that, and everything, you are their debt slave. You owe them. You guys serve 30% of your GDP is servicing debt. And this is what we're happening. They're able to do this because they have Africa broken up. They have Black America disconnected from Africa. They have the Caribbeans, and they're playing on us with this stupid stuff called ADOS, FBA, and it's nonsense. And so the whole thing is we have to break this. If we break this cycle, then we could take them on. But what might that look like? Right? Look like.
Hey, Black America Television News Information made a great point. They canceled all the good Black family TV shows, Family Matters, Cosby Show, all gone.
All that, all that. Why? You know why? Because it was
UPN had to fire family.
Yeah, but I read the story behind that was the fact that when Black people built up the Fox Television Entertainment Network with UPN and stuff like that, all these Black sitcoms and everything, Martin and everything like that, right? And then once they got to their numbers and everything, right, they started pairing. We're in America. Our rating system got to pair with the majority, right? So even though you may have a huge Black following, you need enough white people watching your show or stuff like that for it to be viable. That's the problem. And only a few Black shows were doing it. And those shows didn't really, they were okay and everything. You had shows like the Cosby Show and what's that with Damon Wayans show, the Wayans, the Man About the House, whatever, like that. That was a good show.
In Living Color.
No.
The Wayne brothers. The Wayne brothers.
No, Damon Wayans had a show with Tisha Campbell called
Not My Family and Me. Hold on. Let me look it up.
No, I forgot the name of it. I'm ashamed. I forgot the name.
But Carl, there was some good blacks. There was a lot of good Black sitcoms,
right?
Back in the 90s, I'm saying, okay, here we go, Carl. You're older than me. The 80s, even though there was crack, it just there was still just a bright, positive light on the black community. Same thing with the 90s, early 2000s. Then something just happened that it really started hitting. Probably like, I'm gonna tell you when it started hitting, when Obama got elected.
Yeah, that's exactly when it started. Stopped. That's exactly when it started. And I'm not going to sit here and blame Barack Obama, but for some reason we've lost interest. And also the age of social media. We sort of lost interest in everybody started to see before the people that came before us, right, told us we were black, right? There was no like that, There was nobody telling you was a Hebrew Israelite. There was nobody telling you was a Mole or indigenous Turtle Island, stuff like that. All this self-hate stuff. We all knew that we were black, we're African American, we come from Africa. Every last TV show, like which we call the Sanford Son, right? Remember that time when Lamont was called Akunda? Remember that? Lamont was talking about he was African, and one that Fred was like wasn't into it. When I'm from St. Louis, I ain't from Africa, right? The Jeffersons had a tribute to Africa. All these black shows, your roots. We took our who we were seriously. People before us came. It took us to. I don't know if the Cosby Show ever did an African Center show. And I think they did later on. In Different World, they had Nigerian students and they had African stuff like that. But still, like that, we knew who we were. We knew you knew our story. We're the descendants of the transatlantic slave trade. Our ancestors were enslaved in America. We're Africans in America. And we call ourselves African American. We used to have the Afram Fest. The Afram Fest was the biggest festival on the East Coast of the United States. 200,000 people show up in Norfolk, Virginia. The biggest one was in Norfolk, Virginia. They had them in Baltimore. Vendors as far away as Ghana and Nigeria were there, in the Afram Fest, the African American Festival. It ran from 1989 to like 2006. I think 2006 was last year, like 25 something years, 25, 26 years. So all these things right here that used to hold us together, the Moja festivals, used to have the Black Expo. Black Expo showing black achievement and stuff like that. All these things have been vilified and demonized. Even like look at people like Candace Owens and these other people talk about Jesse Lee Peterson talk about, we don't need Kwanzaa, we don't need all stuff like that. It's black racism and all stuff like that. So a lot of black people, when you call what they do racist, right, and white people come out and say, don't we all want to be Americans, right? So we're the only group of people, right? You can't go to Chinese people and tell them stop celebrating the Chinese New Year. They'll tell you, get the hell out of here. We were Chinese 10,000 years ago.
But Kala, the argument is we chose integration.
Yeah, but the thing is, we chose. Hold up, this is what I'm saying. This is the misnomer is, right? This people wanted to be in a pluralistic society, right? That means I keep who I am. You're white, you're Irish, or whatever like that. We can celebrate our differences in a pluralistic society, right? Integration in a racist society means I got to forget who I am and get rid of my identity, forget my past, right? You could poke holes. Oh, slavery wasn't that bad, right? Oh, wait a minute here. We came over, we're having drinks and dinner, right? But don't bring up slavery, right? See, white people have a problem with our past. You know what I'm saying? They don't want anything reminding them of our past. They don't want to talk about Nat Turner. They don't want to talk because it makes them uncomfortable. And so, therefore, what we have is you want us to integrate in America, right? Integrate into your society, right? But you get to keep your Irish identity. You get to keep your Scot-Irish thing. They can go down there and say, "Oh, this is a tradition," and like that. They even celebrate their traditions of the Confederacy, dress up in the gray and with their rebel flags. That's okay. Think about this: a man could have a rebel flag on his truck and call it heritage, not hate, whatever, right? And it's accepted by black people, everybody, right? You go, oh, you're in the South and everything. But the black people, we were told to give up everything, like in our struggle. We're supposed to distance ourselves from people like Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Nat Turner, all our heroes and sheroes and everything. Why? Because that's divisive, right? That goes against America. So the people who started a civil war to keep people in chains and cost 500 million people to die, they're okay. But us just basically saying, something, this is part of our heritage and culture and everything. We're going to celebrate this. We're vilified. We have to give that up. You can't come over here with all that African stuff and all that Pan-African stuff and everything. And I lived through this stuff. It's hard. It's hard. It's like you ask white people. I say, if you really accept me, you accept me in what you feel in my flaws, my shortcomings, and things like that. If you can't accept everything that I'm about, right, and I got to hide from you, then you're not really my friend. You're not really for me. And a lot of times, a lot of black people don't want to have that conversation with white people, It's not always about them. It's always about, oh, we black people. No, we don't have to get along. You know what I'm saying? If we live in a pluralistic society, right? I should be able to drive around without having the police harass me because of what I look like. I should be able to celebrate who I want to celebrate and everything. I should be able to object to if somebody says you have to say the Pledge of Allegiance. When if some black people say, look, I don't really feel like that. I don't think my people has had the experience to tell me that. You notice how every time you have a national anthem in a football game, they always shine on the black players. You know, they always say, you know what I'm saying? They look at the cameras right there on the black player's face, right, to make sure that Negro has his hand on his heart, right, and pledging allegiance and whatnot. You know, if not, you know, so that's why I say you had the Colin Kaepernick thing, which is, but he can't really count him in because he's mixed race and he has his own issues, you know, and everything like that. That's not really us, everything. But we have legitimate issues about America and stuff like that. I don't think any black man could basically say I'm an American and be fully and believe that. You know, no sane black man can say that. Now you can say America has a lot of opportunity and everything like that, but when someone says, you know something, I have not lived in America, you talk about, right? I'm a black man, I haven't lived in America, you talk about. Leave him alone. Just like white people, when they say they're not feeling integration, they like stick with all the white people and everything. They accept it in their white communities, everything being racist. I don't believe in interracial marriage. I don't want to live next door to a black person, everything. And they could be accepted in white society and everything. That's just the way it is. And they'll tell you, oh, you know, he's a nice guy, right? Has a family, a daughter in college, right? He's a racist, but he's a really good guy. You've really got to get to know him, you know, and everything like that. But they want us to throw our Khalid Muhammad's down, you know, away. They want to throw our Malcolm X's around, you know, out the door and everything under the guise of it's lopsided. It is lopsided. It's not the same. It's not an equal thing, you know. You know, they want us to bow to them, but they don't want to have any respect for who we are.
Experience Liberia. Go ahead.
I have a question. How do we deprogram our people from the machine, man? Do we have to have some sports figure to come in to embrace for us to get on board to actually understand what we're dealing with?
Well, the whole thing is after they watching the Super Bowl, no. After watching the Super Bowl halftime, man, I said you could forget about any of these athletes and everything, you know, because the whole thing is these people have a facade, which is America and all stuff like that. And the bottom line is when you talk about black separatism and everything, it's a losing battle because you're on the side of divisiveness and division, and the people sell unity and color blindness as a way forward. Everything is in our TV commercials. You can't watch a TV commercial without seeing a black woman hugged up with a white man, you know, and stuff like that, you know. So if you say something about it that you are now a black racist, you are regressive. You know, so this is what you're up against, right? The only thing we can do, right? Only thing we can do is become that sanctuary, because when those people get hurt and they get disappointed, right, and they got nothing to turn to, right, they're gonna have to come back to people like us that are building from among ourselves, right, and tell them that we have a future with our own people. Now you can go out there and go ahead and play the game, get hurt and everything, because that's what it is. When it really comes down to it, really, white people are not going to really do business with you, right? You know, you've been waiting for the right. You know what I can't stand when I hear with some of these Negroes, they really do think that the white guy that they have drinks with in the bar is going to partner with them in business and stuff like that. You know, they really do believe that. They to do business, right? Like, why do you think white people? When I talked about the last show, Dinas, I said there's redlining not just in housing, right? I hope people listen to us again. I'm gonna keep saying this, right? There's also redlining is where enterprise zones are, where people think of the white person that basically has capital, $20 million to invest in a business. He's going to make sure to avoid areas where there's large numbers of black people at, you know, unless, right, it's some deal where he's going to cut his labor costs down by like 90%. You know, so that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with redlining in housing for generations, and also redlining where black people reside, as far as like where businesses are built, where industries are built, and everything. That's why we have to always commute. That's why our communities die. That's why people completely divest from areas like Gary, Indiana, and stuff like that. They'll waste billions of dollars, right, on white people who will be meth heads and dope addicts and everything. There'll always be a factory job for them, you know, because they're like, okay, you're a meth head, you had 20 times chances and whatnot, you're still gonna have a job because we're located there. Black people, you have one shooting and everything. Oh man, it's time to pack up and leave. You know, these people are dangerous. This is what you're dealing with as an African American. This is the reality. We don't have any control over any of these things that affect us.
The next question I have is for like the natural resources that's over there. How can we gain control and actually take over and start it? How can I put it? To start doing what, like we say, we need to do, like, you know, taking over the controlling the diamonds, the gold, and
Well,
like I said, and everything instead of outsourcing it to someone else.
I take us out. One thing I think the first thing to do is join the BAO group. That's the first thing, because we got people on the ground and everything like that, and that's the plan. The plan is that we have a lot of Liberians and a lot of Africans that are living in America. They go back and forth and everything. We got to first basically say that, okay, this is where we're going to build our wealth, right? That means that people are coming in and putting money into the country, you know, whether it's spending money on a vacation or spending money on hotels, spending money on this, and buying from the local vendors and stuff like that, right? If you look at the people on the ground, don't have any problem with producing, right? The problem is that when you talk about building a factory, right? Building a factory, it's a cultural thing, right? When you talk about building a factory, a person has to basically be ready to work 30 years, right? And we have to have the structure in place, right? We have to have the structure in place. This is what the Africans, the people on the ground, have to say. You can't just pay people under the table forever. You got to start the jobs where it's modernized, right? Where you got people who could give you 30 years of life. You give them training. You give them all this stuff like this, and you're producing finished products, right? You put some finished products, and then once you have the ability to finish products, right? Then you could justify bringing in capital. Say, look what we're able to finish. Look what we're able to complete and everything. Right now, there's a propaganda campaign, a global propaganda against Africa all over the world, right? All over the world, there's a global propaganda. You could suck raw materials out, right? But the factories got to remain overseas, right? Ghana produces most of the world's chocolate, right? But it has no chocolate factories, you know? But that right there could stop with Ghanaians. You don't have to choose. You don't not have to choose to have that colonial system. And it also takes, right? I know Africa is hot and it's beautiful climate and everything. Everybody's going to chill all day. It's going to take hard work. It's going to take people, you know, like every group of people to go from industrialization, where they go cottage industries to industrialization, right? It's a metamorphosis. Look what Japan went through. People died. You know, people, their whole lives were transformed. You know, I was once chilling, and now I'm going to work on a line with a bunch of men I don't know. You know, but that's what you have to make that transition to. You know, and because there's no other way. Right now, Africa, we don't produce no steel. All the steel that Africa has comes from China. But yet all the iron ore is in Africa. You know, we have all the bauxite in Ghana and places like that, and Guinea. But yet, with all aluminum parts and everything like that are manufactured, precision, and what's the word I'm looking for? Still fabricated in other countries. So if we have that commitment that we're going to build this infrastructure, this Black African infrastructure, and globally, that means Africans will procure among each other. If you have a car, every one of the car parts will be made in an African country. You know, you build this part right here. Some countries more advanced, you build this part right here. Smaller countries, you can be the supplier of this, right? And then we all collect all parts together, right? Put together, and we start. It's assembled in this country right here. Symbols like that. Those things can be done, right? Before you have to have the political. You have to have the cultural will. Before people always get into politics. Before we get into finding out who we are. That's what we're talking about tonight. Who are we? If we say that we're part of the African diaspora, right? If we're part of the African diaspora, that means that you can't just say that, right? Then it has to manifest itself to politics, right? The political will. Ghana, Why are you and Nigeria fighting each other, right? Why are you guys fighting? Why are you guys not working together? Why is Liberia does not have a rail system like in Freetown with Monrovia? Why do you don't have a highway system, expressway system? Why is everything that in Africa being dumped on the shores and everything when you got the same thing in the next country right there? See, there's no coordinated effort because we don't think like this, right? And this bottom line is this: the Europeans and Asians are counting on us to think like this another 100 years so they can get another head start. I remember a couple of years ago, Nigeria got smart and said, you know something, we don't want none of Vietnam. Vietnam came there, don't, so you're not going to buy our fish no more, you know. Outright, someone fish, rice. Nigeria said, no, we're going to start producing our own rice. And the Vietnamese government, the president came there, no. See, all these people, people always think white people, imperialism and everything, but give the Asian half a chance, the Lebanese half a chance. He wants to think of himself as a new white man, you know. Why he's dumping goods from his home country. Lebanon's a freaking shithole. No offense to anybody, Lebanese and everything, but Lebanon's a shithole. It produces nothing. All Lebanon's money comes from the money it grafts out of Africa. You know, we're just so proud. I remember a couple of years ago, back when a lot of Liberians didn't like me very much, you know, when they didn't like me very much a few years ago, right? I used to listen to them, my Liberian brothers talk, right? And they were sitting there boasting about all the money that the Lebanese make in their country. While they're sitting in America, haven't been back in 20, 30 years, they're sitting there boasting about all the money that's being made. Like, Liberia got a good one. I said, but if you're not, if you're not making money, right, and you're living in Maine and Rhode Island while somebody else is making the money in your country, what's that to brag about? You know, what's that to brag about? You're over here in America, right? While some Lebanese over there taking the wealth out of your country, we're not exploiting your young girls and we're not prostituting Liberian women. There's a lot of Liberian now and thought they were going to have their dream job in Dubai, end up in Oman as slaves. Liberian women, you know? I'm not trying to say they're better than other African women, but I'm like, my God, this has never happened in Liberian history. So the bottom line is we have to basically change our mentality and who we are. That's globally. Black America has its problems. We have to deal with it. African brothers and sisters have their problems. We have to deal with this, you know? I hope I answered the question a little bit, you know?
Yeah, you answered.
Yeah, we got Ben Uko. Go ahead, Ben.
Hey guys, how you guys doing tonight?
Yeah, how you doing, Ben?
How are you?
I'm doing good. I just wanted to comment about earlier. You talked about Black America's tough fall. You know, again, what we're dealing with is just. I was listening to Brandon's show, and that's if you listen to that show today, it was I think that Tariq Nasheed versus Aboriginal Normal Power. He was it was. I was watching it and I was saying, my gosh. Are we this weak minded? Are we this soft? Yo,
Yeah, believe it or not.
it's like I said to myself, I said to myself, I was listening, I was working, like this cannot be. We can't be this dumb. We can't be this retarded. But we're showing them.
The way I see it, Ben, is this, right? Black people worldwide have benefited from being stupid because being stupid means that you give the white man a chance to leave you alone. You know, the white people don't think that we're any sort of threat to them, right? They don't think we're any sort of threat to them. That's why basically militarily they're like, well, all they have to do is just keep us in line and they're in Africa to protect their interests over there. And so the bottom line, we're no real economic threat to them and everything. So we play dumb. We act like we don't know how to run a country. We don't know how to run our affairs and everything. And they treat us like children and everything while these other races of people are progressing and everything. So, and when you look at now Black America, right, there's large numbers of Black America are opting out of their own race. I was listening to a story today, Dinus, about Africa Town in Mobile, Alabama. That is a beautiful story. The Keurig, the last slave ship, right, that sailed to to Benin and brought back as slaves, right? And 3 years later, the descendants of people built their own community. And it built a thriving community for generations. Now they're trying to restore it. And I'm saying to myself, the resilience, the pride. So somebody will basically be from Africa Town, right? From Benin. And they'll say, you know something? I'm not from this anymore, right? I'm an Olmec, Native American, Chickasaw, or whatever, chicken bone, Chickasaw, Indian, and we don't want to be black anymore, right? Because the whole thing is that the world wants to shame us for our history. Look, my ancestors didn't look. My ancestors. I'm not going to ever turn my back on my ancestors. Yeah, they were slaves. Yeah, they picked cotton. But so what? I'm not going to sit there and be ashamed of what I am. That's who I am. That's what I am. I'm no better or no worse than my ancestors were. I'm in a better position right now because of them. So I'm not gonna let anybody tell me that's something to be ashamed of. Yeah, my ancestors were slaves. So what? They didn't have a choice. They couldn't fight back. They couldn't say anything to the white man. They couldn't do all the stuff like that. But they were proud of who they are. They proud of their roots. They're proud of their African heritage and everything. And they knew one day that people like me were going to come along and vindicate them. So the bottom line is, people, I have no respect for anybody who doesn't love his African roots, right? Who does not connect to his African homeland, who does not basically view himself as a black African, right? Black African, because that's who we are. That's what we are, and that's where we're going. And so until we have that, you have too many black people in America, right, who want to turn their back on their ancestors. No other group of people on the planet turns their back on their heritage, their roots, who they are. It's not a suggestion. It's who you are. And so when you basically turn your back on the Holocaust, you basically tell the white man what you did was right. I'm willing to forget about it, right? Just to make you happy. I'm going to call myself a Native American because we know you love Native Americans, right? White people always play Native Americans. So black people try to force themselves on white people by claiming indigenous heritage. This is sick. You are an abomination. You know what I'm saying? You are an abomination to the pit of hell. And so the bottom line is this. We basically, black people, we got to stop playing games with these people. These people that don't want to be black, that don't want to, don't come around us. Don't come on our platforms. Don't come talk to us. We don't want anything to do with race traders, because we're holding the ground, right? And the whole thing is this: there's no beef between Africans, Nigerians, and we're all going through the same friggin' thing. We're going through the same thing globally. There's nobody better or anybody else. We're all catching hell. Why? Because there's no black African infrastructure on the planet. So the bottom line is this: Nigerians don't have infrastructure. Black America don't have infrastructure. Everywhere we deal with each other, we got to carry the U.S. passport. We're under U.S. laws over here. We're restricted by U.S. laws over here and everything. We're restricted by the U.S. dollar and everything like that. There is no African currency, connecting us. There are no African smart cities like they're building in Asia, where Asians could live any part of Asia right now, live a comfortable, good life, and contribute to the building of Asia. Why the hell the Asians could do this and whatnot, and the black race can't do it? Why? Because the black race is still under the stewardship and the trusteeship of the white man. Until we ask that question right there, we're never going to get anything. Then once we say that it's time for us to build our own infrastructure, our own industries and everything, then we can have that conversation. Because as long as we think that that America is going to save us and we're part of Europe and the EU and all this kind of stupid stuff that we keep going on, wasting money going to these stupid conferences in Europe, talking about absolutely nothing. A lot of times African leaders go to these meetings just to get a free meal, go over there just to get a free meal and whatnot, hotel and whatnot, and have a good stay. Oh, I talked to the prime minister of this and whatnot. And not a goddamn thing changes. Matter of fact, it even gets worse. So that's what I say about
that. That's exactly what people don't understand. It's like every time you go to those World Economic Forum, the Bank for International Settlements, you go over to the IMF and World Bank, all you're doing is just doing private deals. Saying, oh, I need your ports. I need your military. I need more of your land. I need your trucking industry. We can do that shit ourselves. What the hell? Oh, so let me get this straight. Are we? You gotta tell me, we can't teach our own children this. Here in America, we have a proficiency rate, and it's very interesting. No one talks about the proficiency rate of our kids reading and math and science, and they don't talk about the dropout rate. No ADOS, no FBA, no Aboriginal, nobody. And how many years is it? Is this like over like since the Reagan years that we had our high school dropout rate. It's a, what
Yeah,
what, what
it actually got better. But the thing is, here's the thing: in Baltimore, right? They gave you a diploma. This is the whole thing. They give you a diploma, but they found out that one lady. I posted a blog on my Facebook page, right? She got a diploma, but she can't read or write. Everything is by expediency now. You know, even though back in the days people would drop out of school, right? But I knew people that dropped out of school and became millionaires. You know, they had skills, they could plumb, they could stuff like that. So that's not the thing. It's people who, when they are in school, what are they learning? Right now, school's not teaching people anything that they can live on. They're teaching people, they're indoctrinating people with their beliefs. Because they know the kids are gonna be a useful idiot burning down their cities and running around talking a bunch of nonsense and everything. They're not gonna teach you how to stock exchange work. They're not gonna teach you about international trade, supply chains, and all stuff like that, the stuff that actually matters. They're not gonna teach you about logistics and all stuff like that. What the importance of infrastructure? They're not gonna have that conversation, right? But they're gonna
no.
teach you about a bunch of stupid stuff, right? The LGBTQ and all the stuff like that's what actually matters when not, you know. Because you got to be sensitive, you know, and you got to learn the how to get along in the world, you know. So it has nothing to do with educating people. That is going out the door. People
Very
graduate from high
much.
school are dumb as shit. You know, you see the man on the street thing when people ask basic questions about history, and I'm saying to myself, my God, when was the Civil War fought? 1920. And I'm saying to myself, no, this got to be a joke.
Oh
This got to be a
man.
joke. And
Oh
what you know sad about it is when they take that to a college. It's like, what's your junior college, right? Who was the first president of the United States? Abraham Lincoln. And
what?
this is what you are giving on to. This is where your AOCs and all the idiots come from. You know, this is what you're unleashing on the world. You're weaponizing with a degree with a bunch of idiots who can't build anything, can't create nothing, anything. You're not,
And that's the thing of like they're going to schools with worthless degrees. They don't. We need degrees in STEMs and we need like
oh, you
skills.
can forget that. Oh, but forget that.
Oh hell yeah.
They're trying to gut STEM programs. They're trying to gut things that actually matter. They're telling why? Because they use it under the guise of climate change. You know what climate change means? There's too many
Oh yeah.
black people on, you know, and the bottom line, you think basically this is going to be an easy fight? Soon as we start talking about industrialization of Africa, right? I bet we're going to do a show. The industrialization of Africa. You know what I'm going to hear in the chat room? I'll put $100 on, right? The climate change. Oh, the global warming.
You
You know,
people believe, man, let me tell you something about that whole climate. It's a revenue generating for the banks and for govern up your resources. That's all that is.
and
And they use
also the bottom line the climate change is this. First of all, uh, this is how it worked. It used to be global warming, right? Then shit started getting cold, man. We had record low temperatures, right? Freezing temperatures. Then it suddenly transitions to climate change. What is climate change? We got 4 seasons: spring, summer, winter, fall. You know,
it,
climate change, right? Also, they
it's
said, well, we have earthquakes. Well, what about the hurricane that hit Galveston, Texas in 1908? You know, was that the cause of cars? Basically, they don't want
Now that was the worst hurricane on record, right?
on record. It's Category 5, right? And no one like that. But according to them, we've been tearing the environment up, and so therefore we should have had Category 10 earthquakes by their logic. But they don't talk about that. You know?
no, they don't.
And then
It,
now
it, it,
that we do have, like I said, I study permaculture, right? Permaculture, planting of trees. The state of Israel did it, right? They planted 1 billion trees, right, and green in the desert, right? There's desalination of seawater for water. There's all kinds of technology on the books that debunk all this stuff like that. We have to cut the human population. Less than 15% of the African continent is actually lived on. You know, Africa has rivers that could power and green the Sahara Desert. There's projects I've been studying for years, right, with the Shiloh Institution, right, that they have rivers, canals. They can have underwater canals that could divert water from the Congo River basin to the Sahara Desert and create green. No, we can't do that. Well, the Sahara Desert is creeping down. That's why the situation you have in Nigeria with the Fulani herdsmen. The desert is creeping down. Why don't we do like Libya did? Libya drilled water underground under Gaddafi, right? And green the desert and everything. There's technology out there. But the thing is, that gets in the way of the narrative that they have to get rid of us off the planet. This is why COVID is just a test. They're going to come out with another variant soon enough that's really going to do damage.
Oh yeah,
You know?
that's the goal. COVID was covered. They used it so they can make sure they can lock the planet down, so they can.
Worse is coming. Worse is coming. We don't.
The real deaths are going to start. The real deaths are going to start from the vaccines. I can't. That can't.
Hey. Okay, the thoughts and views of Ben Uko are not the thoughts and views of Search for Huru. We can't talk about that.
Oh yeah, COVID. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
we can't.
Okay, let me stay out of that. Let's stay on the geopolitical topic here.
Well,
I think
on the building part, right? So, do you think it was well, I know it was a plan, but I just want to hear y'all insights on it because, like you said, right, when you didn't even go to school to try to go to college, you had trade schools that you have a trade, but they took that out of the urban communities now. So that actually crippled us as well. So when you look at all the things that's coming about and what we've still been going through, how do we, as a group of people, come together really to really collectivize ourselves to try to form these things and put things in place without having the agents out there that's coming to try to debunk what we're trying to do?
So this is my theory right here, right? Is that if you look at who leads us, this is the first thing. First things first. Who we got to solve this one problem, this one riddle, this one conundrum. Who exactly speaks for Black America? Who do they put up in every time they have a thing where they say, "Oh, Black people doing this"? I'm saying I never had that conversation with this person. So what are they talking about? It's about the value system, right? Like you just said about the skilled trades and stuff like that. You will never hear anybody that's put before us, Whoopi Goldberg, anybody talk about that. Talk about if these young guys had skills, right, in their high school and everything, they went to skilled trades and everything like that, and you put them on a path to success, that's like a 90% chance that they're not going to go astray and get into crime and everything. Nobody ever talks about that. Why? Because talking about empowering somebody, right, outside of social justice welfare, which is give everybody a handout, right? Or the 1% is everything. And they have us on, the 1%. And this stupid idea about reparations and everything. And see, the bottom line is until we have intelligent people saying, look, this is what we need right now, right? We need more skill training. We need this. And we need our youth engaged. You can't go to a community and they, like I said earlier, where you redline them and saying, we're not going to deal with you. Right now, if you happen to make it to suburbia, right, we can help you. You have to make it on our side, and you're one of those black whites and everything like that, right? And you forget about this Pan-African stuff and who you are and everything like that will help you. You should be able to go to any sort of school in the inner city and everything like that, and they should have programs, right? Like every other country do. By the time you're in like high school and everything, what do you want to do for a living? Now, most people, and also not everybody needs to go to college. Not even college. Spend like your young years building a trade and everything, taking care of yourself. So it's like if a kid has money, he has a car, an apartment, and everything like that, right? Then the next day he might want to get higher education if he's qualified for that living. But the whole thing is we have a system now, right, where once you're past the age of 15, you're just basically turned out of the streets. There's no family structure and everything, and they have no direction. And where do they fall into? The gangs, the trap music, the drill music, and all the stuff like this. This is what you're seeing now with the chaos and destruction. And this is why, and it's so chaotic. You got now, these guys are growing up now. You've had a whole generation. You got guys in their 40s and 50s that's still into that trap, thug life shit, They haven't gained any skills and everything. And the skills can't be holding a mic and getting on Instagram, making threats, holding up fake money, getting the threats. We have to get that, start valuing hard work again. We have to start valuing doing things the right way. It may sound corny. Carl, you sound corny, man. Look, I'm just telling you like it is. And we have to start getting back to traditional families, traditional marriage. We have to get back to that. If we want to live, the world is leading us down the primrose path of destruction. The white man, the racists right now see our path right now. We have they see the division among black people. They see the gender wars and everything, and everything is going according to plan. Everything's going according to plan and everything like that. They have no threat from us. In fact, let me tell you something. Let me say something. I'm going to drop a jewel right here, right? They rejected the best of who we were. You look at black people from the 20s and 30s, right? People dressed fine, everything. White America despised that. Now we're at our lowest level, right? They seem to accept it. WAP, Nicki Minaj, and Cardi B and everything. Oh, that's accepted. You get to talk to the president. Matter of fact, they talked to Nicki Minaj today. She chimed in on the Russia thing. She's important. Don't matter what I think. College Genesis thinks, anybody thinks. But listen, Nicki Minaj is on ABC News. She weighed in on the thing. They doing this on purpose. Don't want to talk. A lot of these people I don't like. I'm starting to change a little bit because I like this. Boyce Watkins, brilliant mind. They don't go to Boyce Watkins and ask him. Umar Johnson, brilliant mind, brilliant brother. What do you think about this? No, we're going to give the mic to Cardi B. We're going to give the mic to Snoop Dogg while he's high and whatnot and ask him about important questions. They do this on purpose. So how do we do this? One, we have to have a national campaign to start reining in, saying, you know something, you guys, Snoop, we had our fun. We had our stuff like that, but now it's almost like we have to go into wartime footing. When people are on a wartime footing, we know what they do. Back in World War II, Japan, right? In Japan, the American ballets and everything stopped buying silk, right? It was rationed. They said, we're going to do this for the cause. We stopped buying Japanese products and everything. Why? Because we're going into a war footing. You can't keep consuming the garbage that the American media puts out and everything while you're in a war. And that was what I saw with the Super Bowl. I'm saying with this garbage out here that we're consuming, and then we're in a full-fledged war. So we have to get people back to the thing. And as long as people want to do think it's important to make more shows about degeneracy, like the shows, the Power series and everything. And as long as we supporting that, as long as we like that, we're fighting a losing battle. But we have to start. We in the Black conscious community got to start drawing the line. They're drawing a line, and we give way too much attention to these people. They don't build these people, celebrities, up just to entertain. They know they're gonna because I'm gonna tell you right now. You think Joe Biden and the Democrats in trouble? No, they're not. Right around the end of the summer, they're gonna pull out Cardi B. They're gonna pull out Beyonce. They're gonna pull out Jay-Z. They're gonna whip you back in line. They're gonna browbeat you and shame you to the polls. For nothing. That's how they do it. They're gonna use trauma. They're gonna find another police shooting or something like that to rally around. And the bottom line is that's what they want from you. They're not interested.
Oh, we got it. Yeah, we got it. And Nico, you're the last caller. Then after that, we'll let Kala close out. Go ahead, Nico.
Already?
Nico.
Yeah. Already. I'm ready to go, man. Another hour.
Yeah, bro. We not. Hold on. Let me bring him back on.
No pressure from before, but I have a solution. I only can say this one. Are you guys ready? Solution. Remember how Troy was conquered, the Trojan horse. So what we have to do, we have to bite the bullet, guys. If you look at me and you look at Dynas, what are we? We're jocks, but yet we're hella smart. I'm a N-word that slept through class and got a 21 on my ACTs, and now I'm recognized as one of the.
I think he froze up on us.
We lost that Boost mobile phone. Yeah, you gotta get that Boost mobile phone.
Yeah, we lost him.
Something. The connection goes slow. So what I'm saying is, if we bite the bullet, the course of basically the great will rise. We will rise. We have to basically say we're done with the racism stuff or whatever. And even if we mix, so some of us go that route and mix. So what? If they mix into us, we're black. They turn black. We win. That's the long run.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You're talking about mating with white people?
Oh, no, I'm not.
I know. Okay. And Nico, we appreciate you coming on, brother. We're about to close out.
Deadly.
All right, Colin. Yeah, it's all good. Colin, go ahead, brother.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to Brother Experience in Liberia. You know, his brother going over there doing it. You know what I'm saying? You don't, like I said, I always say, you just listen to colleges. I say a lot of stuff and everything, but I don't. You just go out there and do your thing, man. You got one country over there which you could build, and I do believe that's going to be our link to the African continent. You're gonna have Liberia and Sierra Leone, then thing. You know, we have to. We as Black America, you don't listen to nothing I say, right? We have to get. I'm gonna give a shout out to Roland Martin, right? I listened to his interview what he did with Liberia, and I was really, really touched. And why? Because he had the same thing I said, right? Where you where people, he said, well, he was paying people like $5 here, $5 here for tip, and somebody told him, well, that's all they make a day, and he said, doesn't matter if I got the money, I'm gonna spend it. And he said, if Black people from America coming over here and everything, don't penny pinch, take care of your people that's like that. Why? Because you're gonna build loyalty to you. Whatever you're saying and whatnot, be a blessing to the people. Don't come over here, and I hear some people, oh man, I'm like, look, man, you got the money. You got the money. You ain't gonna miss $5 here, $5 here, whatever like that. But that means a lot to them. That's what we want to do. So, like I said, in the future, I do believe in my heart right now. We build that one country up to connect us with the whole entire continent, and then we'll be fine. But we have to get serious about our culture here in America, because our culture here in America is about foolishness and everything. We have to get back to the Black family. We have to get back to building ourselves back up and for the future, So that's what I like to say.
All right, cool. Hey, everyone, thank you so much for joining. Make sure you tune in to Colin show. Colin, give people the information where they can tune into your show.
Okay, tonight, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, DeVille Radio hosting the Colin Nation Radio Show, Voice of Colin Nation Radio Show. This is where Colin gets raw. I play music, and I talk about the things of the day and everything like that. I've been doing DeVille Radio for 2 years now. And as I broadcast all over the world, I got a huge following in Germany, in England, in Austria. Yeah, they're loving it, right? And so I'm introducing to the world. I mentioned Dynas, I mentioned everybody, and everybody's like, okay. And so people are learning about this movement and everything. And as long as we talk about this movement and we put it out there that we're serious about what we're doing, that you're not going to just erase this away and everything, it's going to go. So the people around the world realize that, that we're taking this Pan-African movement seriously, and people are learning. And you can join the social network. It's BAIO Global Pipeline. That's our social networking app. You can join our social network. You can connect with Brother Experience in Liberia and everybody else that's on the app in different countries. We have different chapters for each state. Each country has a chapter. You can create your own groups and everything. You do your own blogs. It's just like on Facebook, and you connect with real Pan-Africanists that are on the ground doing stuff on the continent, So we'd like to have you.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, family. Dynas Amir, search for Huru.
Peace.
Peace.